this device was initially created for physical therapy. So you have either cold, hot, or hot and cold. And you can program this to set your own protocols in the machine as well too. So there's a memory storage function under F2, and it's very simple. It's all listed in the manual as to how to program it. But if you want to create your own protocols, which I know Julie's going to want to do eventually, and have something be more endemic to chill, you can do that. And then I just want to show you an example of how effective this is from a physical therapy standpoint. So you see when it gets cold, it turns blue. Who wants to volunteer their arm? Okay, so I'm going to do this for under a minute. We're not going to put any lotion on. I just want to show you. Your skin temperature is going to get down within a minute to about 38 degrees. Actually, Julie, I'm going to take this even a little.
I have a thermometer right over there, I think.
You can take this, you can adjust the temperature on the fly. And here's your printout of the applicator head. That's the temperature of the applicator head. Your skin temperature is about 8 degrees warmer than this. Okay? So your skin temperature is right now about 4, 3, 2, about 1 Celsius. Go ahead and feel that. What does it say?
Saying 52 Fahrenheit.
Yeah. We need to
Keep
go a
going,
little longer on it. After 60 seconds, you basically can hardly take it anymore. And if you have a little gel on it, it really helps.
Yeah, with the conductivity, when you're going dry skin, it's not much.
And it's very penetrating cold. Very penetrating cold.
How does it feel, Julie?
It feels cold.
It's really cold. It gets cold really fast. Yeah.
Well, that's
It's
good
tolerable.
too. Is that, and what I noticed too is that
So
it
it's
changes temperatures very quickly too when you go from the hot to the cold.
44.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, transitions like that.
Yeah, yeah.
What's that at? 44?
44.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you see how fast? A couple of minutes, you'll have it down in the mid-30s. That was about a minute.
So how low does it go on a treatment on a?
Well, you can go to minus 18. Normally, like if you're doing a fat freeze, for women it's minus 6 is where it's set at, and men it's minus 8. But if there's more fat, or if there's more body hair on a guy, you have to push it colder. You can push it to minus 18 Celsius, which is 0 Fahrenheit. Also.
Can you work up to that? Is that something that's kind of iterative? Like first treatment's -6, second treatment -8?
You don't have to work up to it.
Okay.
Because you're going for a temperature of the skin when you're doing, only when you're doing cellulite or fat freeze.
Right.
Of between 1, or the applicator head, I should say, this readout here, of between 1 and -4 Celsius for a period, for several minutes at least, in order to get fat cell apoptosis to occur. So you don't necessarily need to go colder. And you conducted really fast because you don't have any fat on you.
Right.
So that's why it went like that. It got cold instantly.
So fatter people, it's going to take
It's going
longer.
to take longer to get colder, and you have to push it colder.
But perhaps as you reduce the fat, they'll get colder faster.
What will happen, it can happen, yes, and what will happen generally is you'll start to feel a softening of the fat
Right.
after the first treatment. You might not, you see these tape measures that everybody's using to show the loss? Well, that's a Cinderella effect. Because all that's going to happen is you're going to have contraction, but it's going to come right back. It takes weeks before you see a difference. You know that from when you do your cryosans with the fat remediation.
Yeah.
So that's a bunch of it's all marketing. Now people will lose it in time, but you don't lose it that before you walk out of the place. It's just a contraction. That's it.
That's okay. The contraction is attractive.
It is.
People want that.
It is. So anyway, so that was F1.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that. Okay, so you put F1. So tell me again what these
F1,
are.
just F1, when you come on, you have F1, F2, and F3. F1 is where you just have heat, cold, or heat and
Oh,
cold.
so nothing
Okay.
programmed.
And I have all the physical therapy protocols for this as well, too.
And F2 is where you customize.
In F2, you can do memory in here, but when you first come on, you see this icon, and if you hit the icon, it takes you to male and female architecture. We're going to review the female architecture first because it's far more extensive than the male architecture. So when you come on, you have these windows. You can see whatever body part you want to focus on, and then you have the drop-down menu with each one. So let's just say The first one, anti-age face. So anti-age face, 1 of 3. So you start out with 2 minutes at 37 Celsius, and what you're doing with the anti-age on the face, and you suggest for half the face. Okay, you're just doing half the face at a time. That's to relax the tissue. Then you're going to a cold at 5 minutes at 7 Celsius, and that is to stimulate collagen, to tighten up the skin.
Is that also half? Did you half at a
Yes,
time?
it's all, everything on the face with regard to the certain facial treatments, and this is all spelled out in the client treatment protocol manual that I have in the Cryo T-Shock Owner section of the CryoGeneration website,
Okay.
and spelled out in more detail. So when you read that now, you really understand it afterwards, because it tells you the protocols for every body part.
I'll send you the link.
And what I found is that with the applicator manual that the Italians provided, that the times on here don't always jive with the times in there, so don't pay attention to the times in there. Pay attention to the times in here in my client treatment protocol manual. You won't get confused then. There is a nice explanation of how the machine works in 2 pages in there. That's good to read. So then you go to cold, and then you go back to warm again. Okay, so what we're trying to do is stimulate both collagen and elastin with the hot and the cold in the anti-aging, and that's usually good for anybody 35 plus who shows signs of aging. So for me, I did, when I first got the machine, and I'm traveling so much I haven't even had a chance to use it in a while, but I did just the right side of my face. I come down for breakfast one morning, and my daughter says, "What's up with you?" She's 16, and these were almost gone. You have lines on the left side of your face, you don't have them on your forehead on the right side, and your smile line's gone from here, and you have a pronounced one on your left side. I said, "Yeah, I'm going to do a couple more treatments." She goes, "Stop right there. Don't do any more. It's freaky enough as it is." But the thing is that you will see results right away. Like on your faces, I would
I was just gonna
do
ask about that.
something called the facelift, which is a misnomer. It really should be called the red carpet treatment. It's for events. Or it's for people your age who don't show signs of aging yet, who haven't lost your collagen, if you want to keep it perpetually.
Right, preventative.
Exactly. And so you could do it maybe once or twice a month, and it will reinforce your collagen. For us, I'll put myself in the demo, okay? So for me, all it does is bring it back to the surface, but you have to remind it again, or otherwise it's going to recede.
Okay.
So whether you're doing a facial, or a neck, or décolleté, or arms, or legs, or any kind of toning on the body to help to regenerate the collagen, you have to do it in a concentrated window up front. So I usually recommend 5 to 6 treatments over a 2 to 3 week period every 3 days. You can reinforce it with the CryoSand for facials, for cryofacials in between, and that'll help to accelerate the process as well too. Okay?
As far as having anything on your face, moisturizer, makeup, do they have to have a totally like bare face?
They need to have, yes, that's the difference. You need to have.
So no
all
makeup.
Bare
makeup
face,
free.
okay.
So this is what you use for, you know, you can use any kind of, you can use witch hazel, you can use a Neutrogena wipe, you can use whatever you want. I like the baby wipes because they're more sanitary. And you can use this just to clean off before and clean off after.
So it's typically somebody needs an appointment for, like, you're not really getting people to walk off the street to do this treatment. They have to
This
be
is
ready
all
for it.
appointment. This
Yeah,
is all
you have to be ready
Yeah,
for it.
it's a half hour. So this is 9 minutes aside. But what another protocol we created was that when I got trained in Italy during the cold cycle, they would put this on to do the fine detail work. So this is fine for the broader, bigger parts of the face, but
Under eyes.
for
Right.
the aging that occurs here, puffiness, crow's feet, forehead, Levens, here as well too. Any place you see aging, you focus on with this. I call it the magic eraser. It's an extra 5 ounces. It's like you're ironing. And so what you do is after you finish the 9 minutes, and we're going to do this today, you go back to F1 and you hit cold and you go, oh sorry. And we're going to program this in as one of your program features in the machine. You go to -10 because you're losing cold with this applicator. And when you're doing it, you're going to go like on the upper lip, you go back and forth like 15 times, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Then you move to here, back and forth, and just keep doing that and repeating it over the 5-minute process. And that really helps to magnify the results. Now, with the cryofacials, this does not duplicate the cryofacial in terms of the vibrance that your face feels after a cryofacial. And it's not meant to cannibalize what you're doing with cryofacials. It's meant to enhance. So when you do this in conjunction with the CryoSan on the other days, it magnifies and enhances the results. But the beauty of this is that you see results from the first treatment.
Right.
So how often, if you do like a series of 5 or 6, you said over 2 or 3 weeks?
Every 3 days.
Every 3 days.
You can do it twice a
Facials
week.
every 3 days.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's lower, it's not as cold a temperature and like.
That's right. So when we first came in, this was for the Cole cycle on the anti-age for women. The anti-age was set at 4 degrees Celsius, but I had 2 people get blotchy. So we had a conference and we decided to raise it to 7. The other thing when we get to the fat freeze, you'll see as well, is our times are longer and colder than most of the cryoskin times are. And that's because we modified this because we're fatter than Europeans. When I go out to Minneapolis and Iowa and other places in the Midwest, you need the extra cold. So we made modifications to it to make it more Americanized, because the other thing that the Italians said was the reason why people got blotchy and they never had it happen in Europe is because they think it's because of our processed food in our diet. It could be part of it. And the other is, were the people emotional? They asked too, because we wear emotions in our neck and our face for the most part. So since we've modified it to 7, we have not had anybody get blotchy. So what I normally tell everyone is if someone comes in and they handle it really well the first time it's 7, you take it to 4 degrees the next time they do it and do their treatments at 4. If you could take them to 3 or 2, even better. But everyone has a different tolerance to cold. Everyone's receptors fire at a different level. Okay.
We have to have a place to keep all that data too for that individual patient too.
Yeah.
Is there anything in there with the
There is
patient?
no client data storage.
So we have to do that in mind body
You
then?
do have to do it in mind.
So
That's okay.
Okay, yeah.
you would
That's
say
fine.
definitely the colder, the better in terms of tolerance for a client?
Yes, because you're going to stimulate more collagen. It's going to tighten
Okay.
more. So now when we go to the facelift, as it's called in here,
So this was called anti-aging?
Anti-age, yes.
Okay.
brightness is acne.
Oh, okay.
Cupros is rosacea.
Oh. Okay.
Or cupros is orangey skin, that orangey cast of the skin. Normally, anti-age or facelift will take that orangey cast off regardless, okay? But this is facelift, so the difference is, so we start with 2 minutes at 37, then it's 8 minutes at 8. If you recall, the other one was 5 minutes at 7. So it's a more extended cold period as well, too. So it's really stimulating more collagen, and then you finish with a minute at 37. You don't necessarily need to use the coupler for this on someone younger, but if it was on someone my age and you're doing a facelift, because I say, okay, I've got a wedding tomorrow, and I want to have a really nice look, you would then put this on and go back and do the 4 to 5 minutes at -10 on those detail spots.
And you always have to exit where you are to use that little accessory.
So once the program ends, you'll get a buzz. Here's Cullum. Everybody, this is Cullum.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do you mind being a videographer, buddy?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So he'll take that over for you, Julie.
Okay. Thanks.